Alright, so what is capitalism? I'm going to explain it to my conservative friends. So the next time you jerk off an economic system which fundamentally exploits the vast majority of human beings, maybe it will warrant some pause and you might think, hey, is the system I'm shilling for and defending, does it really care about me? Does it really care about me as a worker? Ask yourself that after this video. But first of all, what is capitalism? Well, capitalism is a cycle. It's a cycle of investment, of wage labor, and of profit. But let's break this down step by step. So let's say that you are a big capitalist. You want to open up a factory where clocks are made. So you invest your capital into owning the means of production. You have a factory, you have the machinery, you have the raw materials. Now all you need are workers. So you hire a bunch of workers. So let's say that you have a $1 plank of wood here, and the worker's task is to turn this $1 plank of wood into a $10 clock through the input of their labor. So this means that through the input of the worker's labor, they have increased the value of this piece of wood by tenfold by turning it into a clock. So the worker gets paid $2, and this $2 covers the worker's living expenses, their rent, their food. I know $2 is too small, but let's just use our imagination for the sake of example. So you pay the worker $2. And already you can see something shifty's going on here. Well, what about the other $8 that the worker generated? What about the other $8 in value? Where does it go? Well, the capitalist extracts that surplus value from the workers. They take it. They say, thanks for generating $8 worth of revenue, of value for me. I'm just going to take that now, pay you some crumbs, pay you a fraction of the value that you generated. So what does the capitalist do with the surplus value of the workers? Well, part of that goes into reinvestment to start the entire system over again. He buys more materials, he buys more machines, he hires more workers, and it starts the capitalist cycle over again for perpetual growth. But another chunk of the change, let's say $1, goes to paying off the media. Now, the media serves a very important function in propping up capitalism. They will talk shit about any socialist politician that comes into the public eye. They will decry socialism. Any kind of working class action is immediately decried and fearmongered towards by the media. So the media serves as sort of the strong arm of capitalism. They will also lie to you. They'll show you videos of the American success, the American dream. Oh, if you continue working hard for $2 wage, maybe one day you will own a clock factory yourself. And all workers are just temporarily embarrassed millionaires. So if you watch the capitalist media, this is the kind of ideology that you're ingesting. Another part of that surplus value goes to paying the politicians. The politicians who will pass legislation to limit labor activity, to limit the power of unions, to deregulate certain industries, to make it cheaper to acquire pieces of wood. Maybe legislation and deregulation that says, hey, you can get cheaper wood that hasn't been inspected for quality. That kind of thing. You can lobby a politician as a capitalist to be against the sorts of policies that impede on your ability to extract surplus value from your workplace. Another part of that money goes into paying the police. And the police is really the last line of defense for the capitalist. When the workers rise up, when they start striking, when they start demanding equal wages, better working conditions, who is always there to stamp down on the workers? Who is always there to defend private property and to defend capitalism? It's the police. The police are class traitors to the working class because they will gladly assist the bourgeoisie in stamping out the proletariat any chance they get. And then what happens to the remaining $3? Well, the remaining $3, the capitalist pockets, says, this is mine now. I'm going to spend this on luxuries. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a yacht. I'm going to buy a fancy sports car. Good luck finding any of those that's priced at $3, but for the sake of our example, this is what we're working with here. This is simply a microcosm of what's happening at a massive scale. You scale this up and you have the capitalist system as a whole, but this is how it works in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, just to repeat, by the input of labor, a commodity increases its price proportional to the amount of labor put into it by a worker. The ultimate goal of a capitalist is to find a machine that can produce this clock without the need of labor input from a worker, without the need of a wage. The ultimate wet dream of the capitalist is to eliminate the position of the worker entirely and to have a self-perpetuating value-generating machine that they can just continuously extract profit from. But of course, there's no machine that's perfect. Workers still have to be paid for maintenance. You still have to pay somebody to build the machine, to design the machine. So, that is to say, automation can actually lead towards a ramping up of the mass production while it potentially threatens the worker in a capitalist system. So in part 2, we'll talk about how a socialist system works, how it gets rid of this exploitation, and fundamentally how it's a better economic system. So thank you for listening. Stay tuned for part 2.